Hello students, in this video we will be talking about the Hardy-Weinberg principle of equilibrium. G.H. Hardy and W. Weinberg in the year 1908 independently proposed Hardy-Weinberg principle of equilibrium, and this principle of equilibrium was proposed mainly to describe the relationship of gene frequencies and genotypic frequencies of alleles in the gene pool of a population. According to this principle, if the evolutionary forces like mutations, migrations, it may be emigration or immigration, genetic drift, natural are not working, are not operating on a large and randomly mating population, the relative frequencies of various alleles in that population tend to remain at an equilibrium or constant generation after generation. This means if gene frequency in a population remains constant, the population is static and is not evolving. If in a Mendelian population gene frequency of gene capital A is equal to small p and gene frequency of its allele small a is equal to small q, then sum of these alleles capital A plus small a is equal to small p plus small q is equal to 1. That means constant at an equilibrium state. Genotypic frequency of capital A, small a and small a genotypes is equal to p plus q whole square is equal to 1. That means p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. Here p square is indicating the genotypic frequency of capital A. pq is representing the genotypic frequency of capital A small a, and q square is representing the genotypic frequency of small a. So according to this principle, if a population is large, its individuals have random mating. Each parent produces roughly equal number of gametes. These gametes combine at random and undergo no evolutionary changes. Then the gene or allelic frequency of different genes remains constant and unchanged, and genetic equilibrium of gene is preserved through generations. So here, what do you mean by gene frequency? Gene frequency, it is the proportion of an allele in relation to the total alleles of a gene present in a randomly interbreeding population. And what do you mean by genotypic frequency or genotype frequency? It is the proportion of one kind of genotype from a population with respect to the locus under consideration. And it is calculated by dividing the number of individuals with one genotype in a population by the total number of individuals in that population. Now, if we observe the implications of this principle in real population, so here 4 points I am going to discuss. First point, and these all are about the implications of this principle in real population. Conservation and restoration of the genetic variation. The genotype frequency will remain constant in the future generation once the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium genotype frequency is obtained. So, the random mating in the large population acts to conserve the genetic variability which exists in the population. Second point, heterozygote carriers. The recessive deleterious alleles result in expressing natural diseases which occur very frequently in the populations and are fairly common because rare alleles are contained mostly in heterozygotes. Third point, maintaining genetic load. Even though rare recessive alleles reduce the population fitness, that known as genetic load, still these alleles with the detrimental effects are maintained for many generations. The mutation at many gene loci which are deleterious is maintained in large random mating populations. At last, the alleles which are neutral or mildly deleterious in the current environments form the genetic diversity that allows the species to adapt to the changing environmental conditions. And point number 4, writing recessives from breeding populations. It is hard to fix the desirable dominant allele by mass selection in the breeding process as the frequency of the desired dominant allele increases. The unwanted recessive allele becomes rare and exists in the heterozygotes where its phenotypic effects are masked. So this is about the Hardy-Weinberg principle and its implication in the real population. Hope you like the video. Thank you very much.